In a time where more video games are being released than ever before, Mouse PI for Hire stands out in a crowded first-person shooter market. While it's not a perfect game by any means, it lays the foundation for what could be a highly successful new boomer shooter franchise. The game's biggest strength is in its presentation. The 1930s hand-drawn rubber hose animation looks amazing, and all of the sound effects and music perfectly fit the old-school noir cartoon aesthetic. If you've ever watched any old-school Hanna-Barbera cartoons or Steamboat Willie, you will instantly recognize a lot of the sound effects, and the game has a surprising amount of music tracks that are recognizable. Mouse PI has some fantastic voice acting performances, but none shine as bright as the lead performance by industry legend Troy Baker. He was up for the task as Detective Jack Pepper, cracking cheese-related jokes and narrating the journey as you progress through it. Mouse PI wears its Cuphead influences on its sleeve for the presentation, but when it comes time to start playing the game, it's very clear that Doom was the inspiration for the gunplay. The movement feels like a boomer shooter with a full weapon wheel to cycle through. I mainly stuck with the Tommy gun, cleverly called the James gun, and the shotgun for when I was getting up close to enemies. There's also your standard pistol, a bazooka, a mind control gun, a gun that shoots acid, and a few more. All the guns have 3 upgrades that add a secondary shot and additional perks like more ammo or more powerful shots. Action is hectic and encounters have a great pace to them, forcing you to be constantly moving around the level, avoiding gunfire and other hazards. While I found the gunplay to be satisfying, I wish there were a few more enemy types to deal with, but that does leave the door open for more enemy variety in a sequel or DLC. While the majority of the gameplay consists of running and gunning, you will also be doing some light detective work and puzzle solving. It's nothing crazy since the game holds your hand the entire way through, but it's a nice break from the gunplay. The lockpicking minigame is super simple, but still oddly satisfying as you snake your way through the maze. There's also a baseball card minigame that is a ton of fun for the first couple of games, but then you realize there's no reason to keep playing besides going for the achievement that is tied to it. I would love for the sequel to flesh this out way more and maybe add some opponents to play in each level instead of just having the one game in the hub town. There are a good amount of boss fights spread out through the game's 12 to 15-ish hour runtime, and they definitely stand out for being fairly unique from one another. There's really no repeat boss fights that I can recall, and almost all of them were a good amount of fun. Mouse PI for Hire follows Detective Jack Pepper as he investigates a missing persons case. It starts out as a simple case, quickly escalates as you unravel a political conspiracy. The story features a very in-your-face parody of the Nazi Party. The aptly named Big Mouse Party sets their sights on the shrews living in the city of Mouseburg. I think the story is decent enough, but for me it started to run out of steam towards the end. I would like in the future a more tight, compact story. I won't be covering story spoilers in this section, rather I wanted to talk about a specific moment in one of the later levels in the game. This level has you heading to a movie studio lot. You open the door onto one of the sets and you are greeted with a Wizard of Oz inspired black and white to color art style change. As much as I was enjoying the black and white aesthetic, it was such a breath of fresh air to see this game in color. The colors here are so vibrant and I think it perfectly complements the animation style. It felt like the game's world was being fully realized, and I would love to see the sequel take place in a later era so we can have an excuse to get a fully colored game. Mouse PI for Hire is a very good game that I think has the potential of being a great new franchise. Even if the story started to drag for me towards the end, I was still excited to keep playing thanks to fun gameplay and an awesome art style. I absolutely recommend you play this game. Just be prepared for a smorgasbord of cheese-related puns.